Kicking us off this evening is our favorite current Rotary International Director for Zones 33 and 34, Patrick Eakes.
Thank you, Andy. I feel so special to be your favorite current director. Thank you for that. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Zones 33-34 Membership Action Plan webinar. We're thrilled you joined us for this timely and important conversation, the importance of creating new Rotary clubs. If you're here tonight, it means you're someone who cares about the future of Rotary, not just maintaining it, but growing it, evolving it, and ensuring that more people in more places have the opportunity to experience what Rotary has to offer. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about. Let's start with the simple truth. Rotary is strong, but it could be stronger. Our existing clubs are doing great work, but when we take a closer look at our communities, we often find entire groups of people we're not reaching. Maybe they're younger professionals who can't make a traditional meeting schedule. Maybe they live in neighborhoods without a local club. Maybe they're passionate about a specific cause and want to serve with others who share that passion. Creating new clubs is how we bridge that gap. It's how we extend the reach of Rotary to people who want to serve but haven't found a club that fits their life. We're not talking about competing with existing clubs. We're talking about complementing them, expanding Rotary's footprint, welcoming more voices, meeting people where they are. Here in Zones 33 and 34, we're already leading the way. We've seen innovative models come out of these zones: calls-based clubs, interest-based clubs, companion clubs, and impact clubs, all creative solutions that make Rotary more accessible and engaging. And here's the key point. Districts that create new clubs are also the ones that show net membership growth. That's not theory. It's proven by data from across the world. New clubs bring energy. They bring new leadership, and they often re-energize existing clubs by giving members more ways to engage and collaborate. Why is this urgent now? Because the world is changing. Expectations are changing, and Rotary must keep pace, not by abandoning our values, but by adapting how we invite people into the organization. If we keep doing what we've always done, we'll keep getting what we've always gotten, or maybe a little less. Creating new clubs is one of the most effective strategies we have to reverse membership decline, and to reach new communities, and to spark new leadership. So what can you expect tonight? You're going to hear directly from leaders in our zones who've helped create dozens of new clubs, sometimes in places where no one thought it was possible. We'll talk through the process, from identifying an opportunity, to assembling a team, to navigating the chartering steps with Rotary International. And we'll share resources and support that make the process simpler than you might expect. You don't need a large group. You don't need a big budget. You just need a few people with vision and a community that's waiting to be invited in. Let me close with this. Rotary grows because someone like you decides to take action. Maybe tonight will spark an idea. Maybe you'll leave with a new project in mind. Or maybe you'll decide to help mentor or sponsor a new club. Whatever your path, know this: you're not just protecting Rotary's legacy, you're building Rotary's future. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's get to work and let's grow Rotary together. To get tonight's show started, I am pleased to introduce my friend and a veteran in creating new clubs, Al DeLucia. Take it away, Al.
Director Patrick, thank you for the great setup for our session this evening. Opening new clubs is essential for Rotary to not only grow, but more importantly, to achieve all the facets of the Rotary Action Plan, increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing participant engagement, and demonstrating our ability to adapt. To talk more about this, we've invited past Rotary Membership Coordinator for Zone 33, Chris Jones, to participate in an interview with me about opening new clubs. Chris, are you ready?
Hey, Al, and hello to everyone attending our session this evening. It's certainly an honor and my pleasure to be with everyone here. I can't wait to hear your questions, and I'm certain that the attendees are anxious for this as well. So let's get going.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Let's get started. Chris, we heard from Director Eakes why it's so important to create new clubs. Can you tell us how starting a new club can actually benefit existing Rotary clubs?
Absolutely, and thanks for that question, Al. Starting a new Rotary Club injects fresh energy into our existing clubs. And at first glance, it might seem like you're pulling people or resources away, but really the opposite happens. In reality, what happens is the creation of new clubs, which is an expansion, not a reduction of Rotary's influence. When we establish a new club, whether it's a cause-based club focused on issues like opioid prevention and treatment or ending human trafficking, or an impact club dedicated to community service. We're effectively broadening Rotary's reach into communities and demographics we might not have engaged with previously. Existing clubs also benefit from the increased visibility that new clubs bring. When a new club forms, it sparks community interest, prompting questions like, what is Rotary doing? This heightened curiosity raises overall awareness for all clubs and boosts the Rotary brand as a whole. More importantly, though, it creates new partnership opportunities. Say you're a traditional club and you create a cause-based club with a focus on mental health. Suddenly, you've got potential for joint service projects, fundraising events, and sharing of knowledge that enriches both clubs. It's also a chance for existing club members to mentor, support, and even learn from new leaders stepping into these new clubs. That back and forth exchange can revitalize an older club's sense of purpose and innovation. So, starting a new club is not just about adding numbers, it's about strengthening our entire organization.
Wow, Chris, you mentioned some really important points there. So there's really no reduction happening, but lots of growth opportunities. And also, members of the new club inject new energy, enthusiasm into the traditional club. So for our next question, what about retention of members in the existing club? Can a new club actually help to retain members of our traditional clubs?
Yeah, Al, I love this question because it's counterintuitive to what a lot of people think. You might think if we start a new club, we're going to lose members, but the reality is that it often helps keep members who might otherwise drift away. When you create a new club, especially a companion club, it often gives existing members new ways to engage. And for some members who may have felt a bit of stagnation or been disconnected, suddenly there's a new opportunity to mentor new leaders, support a project, or collaborate across clubs. That kind of engagement reignites purpose. And when people feel they're a part of something growing, they're more likely to stay. Sometimes members leave a traditional club not because they don't believe in Rotary, but because the format doesn't quite fit their life anymore. Maybe they've changed careers, started a new family, or found a passion project they want to pursue more deeply. If we offer them a path to stay connected through a new club format, like a cause-based club or a Rotaract club, or a service only impact club, they often stay in Rotary. That's retention. Even with the host club, seeing new clubs form can bring a sense of pride and momentum. Members feel they're part of a bigger movement, not just a weekly meeting. That excitement is contagious and can help existing members find a new purpose in their club's mission. So, forming a new club isn't about losing members, it's about keeping them by evolving with them. That's how Rotary can stay strong and relevant in their community.
Wow, Chris, those are some really insightful thoughts. So these new club variants create options for new members coming in, as well as options for existing members that might have considered leaving Rotary altogether, but now there's another choice, thus creating retention. So let's keep it going, Chris. In your experience, which demographics are most drawn to these new club models?
Another great question, Al. And honestly, one of the most exciting aspects of starting new Rotary clubs is how they open doors to different types of people who may not have seen themselves in a traditional Rotary club. Rotary's future depends on how well we connect with today's generation of leaders, not just yesterday's. It's about evolution and staying relevant. Key words here tonight. These new types of clubs are incredibly effective at attracting people we've traditionally struggled to reach. For example, companion clubs often attract people with busy schedules, young professionals, educators, parents with young children, or entrepreneurs. They want to serve. They believe in Rotary's values, but they need meetings that fit into their lifestyle and their schedule. Offering flexible formats makes Rotary accessible to them. Cause-based clubs tend to draw people who are passionate about a specific issue, like mental health, clean water, veteran support, or the environment. When these people see that Rotary is supporting a cause, they are passionate about it, and it clicks with them. They're often younger, very driven, and are already active in the nonprofit or community work world. Companion clubs tend to attract busy mid-career professionals, people who value service but need more flexibility around time, location, and meeting format. These are people who would love Rotary, but maybe a weekly lunch meeting doesn't fit their life anymore. And let's not forget Rotaract, which brings in young leaders and students. Many of them want networking, leadership and mentoring opportunities, and a way to make a difference early in their careers. So these clubs attract people across generations and professions, but they often share one thing. They want purposeful engagement on their terms. And by offering a wider variety of club types, we make room for all of them in Rotary. And that makes Rotary, another key word here, relevant to them.
So what I hear you saying, Chris, is that these new club models are actually opening new pathways into Rotary and appealing to a larger audience, and they're part of the demographic that we've been trying to attract. And this keeps Rotary relevant and evolving. As Paul Harris once said, Rotary must be evolutionary and revolutionary on occasion. Now, I've got another question for you, Chris. How do you identify those potential leaders within a club who could champion the establishment of that new club? That spark plug, if you will.
Yeah, that's so important. And I'll tell you, every club has at least one person who could be that spark. It often starts with looking for energy and vision. It's the person who's always coming up with new ideas, asking, what if we tried this? Or they say, I know some people who would love Rotary, but it needs to look a little different. Sometimes it's a newer member, someone who hasn't yet settled into the traditional Rotary mold and sees possibilities we may overlook. Other times, it's someone who's been around a while and is looking for their next big contribution. They might feel they have done all of the committee roles and want to take on a bold new challenge. These are ideal champions. You'll also want someone who's connected, either within the community, among a specific demographic, or with a cause, and who naturally brings people together. A good question to ask is, who in our club already has the trust and enthusiasm to inspire others to follow them? Once you spot that potential, please nurture it. Give them a framework. Connect them with others who have launched new clubs and support them as they shape something new. Champions don't need all the answers. They need the support and belief of their club behind them. Starting a new club takes heart, and the right champion must believe in the vision as much as Rotary itself.
So let me recap what you've said here, Chris. So you think every club likely has a champion. They just need to listen and identify that person based on energy, enthusiasm, and them questioning the status quo. And this person really needs to be someone that's trusted by their members. Let's move on to the next question. What's the real value proposition for establishing new clubs?
Yeah, it's really about making Rotary more accessible, more inclusive, and more future focused. These clubs meet people where they are, in their schedules, their passions, and preferred ways of connecting. Every new club adds a new layer to our organization's depth. We're no longer asking everyone to fit into the same mold because we're creating models so that more people can engage meaningfully. New clubs also keep Rotary innovative. They give us real-time feedback on what today's professional students and community leaders are looking for. That insight helps us shape not just the new clubs, but it informs and refreshes existing clubs as well. Finally, new clubs allow us to more quickly adapt to emerging trends. Let's say there's a passionate group about disaster response or mental wellness. You can start a new club and empower them to act right now. That agility is huge value in today's fast-moving world. So when we talk about new clubs, we're not just creating options, we're creating opportunities for Rotary, our members, and the people that we serve.
Chris, I really tuned in when you mentioned there's great value to Rotary, our members, and the community we serve when we create new clubs with new focus. I love the comment about meeting our members, new and existing, where they are and not requiring them to fit into our traditional model and being able to take action right now. Wow, that is so powerful. Chris, I know there's a lot of people on this call that are probably very enthusiastic about what we've talked about so far, but are hesitant because they're unsure how to do this on their own. Let's talk about the support that's available to Rotary clubs all over North America. And I've heard even broader than that. You and Patrick Lingano are the co-founders of the North American Club Creation Team. What's the benefit of working with a trained and dedicated team when forming new clubs?
Al, one of the biggest advantages of working with a dedicated team like the North American Club Creation Team is that you're not starting from scratch. Forming a new club can feel overwhelming. There are steps, timelines, forms, and a lot of moving parts, but we've been through it. We know the common roadblocks, and more importantly, we know how to avoid them. We also tailor the approach. No two communities are alike. What works in one city might not work in another. We help leaders ask the right questions early on. Who is this club for? What format will work best? What kind of culture are you trying to build? That clarity on the front end saves a lot of time and stress down the road. And those are just a couple of examples. The North American Club Creation Team provides you with the confidence and connections and a proven path forward. We bring not just the structure and guidance, but real experience because we've been doing this globally for the last 5 to 6 years. We've helped launch all kinds of clubs, cause-based, companion, impact, standalone, Rotaract, Interact, you name it, we've done it. So when someone comes to us with an idea, a dream of what they always wanted a Rotary Club to be, we can say, here's what worked for others like you, and help them turn that idea into a new club. Our whole goal is to make sure that new clubs aren't just launched, they're launched well with strong foundations and a clear vision for growth. Another big piece is momentum. The North American Club Creation Team application helps things keep organized and moving forward. We believe in accountability, encouragement, and that outside perspective that reminds you this is not just a project, it's the start of something powerful. And when a champion knows they've got a team behind them, they're far more likely to succeed.
So, wait, so you're saying now there's a team to help clubs go from a dream to reality. Wow, it's great to know that there's a team of folks available to any club, Rotary Club, to help form these new clubs. But in forming these new clubs, there has to be a common thread, a common element of challenges and objections. What are some of the common objections you've encountered when trying to form new clubs?
There's a lot of common objections, Al, but some of the most common ones we hear is, won't this take members away from our existing club? And we talked about that earlier. That concern comes from a place of wanting to protect what people have built, which is understandable. But we've seen over and over again, or what we've seen over and over again, is that forming a new club actually strengthens an existing club. It brings in new people who would never have joined the existing club, and it gives current members new ways to engage. So you're not dividing the club, you're growing it and expanding our reach. And now your club has experienced that exact thing. Another objection we hear is we've tried something like that in the past and it didn't work. That's fair. Starting a new club can be challenging. And if a past attempt fizzled out, there can be some hesitancy to try again. We get that. But what we always say is let's figure out why it didn't work and how to do it differently this time. With the right guidance and clear vision, it can absolutely succeed. There's also some fear around losing control, especially in long established clubs. Those clubs may worry that a new club will do things differently or dilute the Rotary brand. But in reality, what we're doing is creating more pathways into Rotary. That's not a threat. That's a lifeline for future growth. And new clubs still uphold Rotary's core values, even if their format or focus is a little different. And we've seen quite often where an existing member who is going to leave Rotary because the current club model no longer fits for them, they move their membership to a new club that was a better fit, and those new clubs just continue to thrive. So these new clubs really do enhance retention. Rotary is always evolving. Think about women joining Rotary or the introduction of Rotaract. Those were changes too, and it made us stronger. These new clubs are just the next step in that evolution.
Chris, that's so enlightening. It's common that Rotarians think about forming a new club. The resistance comes from within their club. They fear the potential loss of members. So, what I hear you saying is that the objections are based on misinformation and resistance to change. It's good to know that the common concern and what is one that's really not founded in actual practice. So, we've talked a lot about the formation of new clubs, and now we really need to chat about best practices for the sustainability of those newly formed clubs.
Al, I got to tell you, we have been very long-winded in this discussion so far. So for the consideration of time, we're going to make this a topic for another session. And for the audience out there, if you really would like us to do that for you and have another session about this, just go ahead and put into the chat the number 1 real quick so we can see how much interest there is out there. While you're doing that, let me add that we've had almost zero attrition of the new clubs that we formed the new clubs that we've started using this process that the North American Club Creation team now uses. We work hard to form a good foundation from the start, and this makes it easier to build longevity and sustainability for new clubs. And it looks like those ones are rolling in here. So I think we know what another topic or another session that we're going to hold is going to be.
Thank you, Chris. What a powerful conversation full of energy, vision, and practical advice for anyone looking to spark new clubs and grow Rotary in fresh, meaningful ways. We've got a couple of key takeaways we've heard this evening. Forming a new club benefits the existing club, as well as other clubs in the community. It expands our reach by injecting energy and enthusiasm in the members and increased visibility in the community. It increases our impact by growing service to our community by both the existing and new clubs. It increases our ability to adapt by creating new club models that have a wider appeal. And it enhances our membership engagement by providing alternative club models for existing club members to transition to instead of leaving Rotary. And there's a team of dedicated Rotary specialists ready to assist you with opening new clubs via a proven process that is fully backed by Rotary International and the Rotary North American directors. We also will show you this slide where you can download the North American Club Creation app if you have an interest in developing a new club, either for yourself or if you're a district resource for clubs in your district. Now, let's keep that momentum going. Up next is our Membership Success Center segment, your go-to resource for tools, success stories, and proven strategies to help turn inspiration into action. Here's past Zone 33 Rotary Membership Coordinator, Terry Weaver, with your Membership Success Center tip of the month. Take it away, Terry.
Thanks for the introduction, Al. And for all of you, I have not 1, but 3 membership tips of the month. And these are all based on 2 facts. First, that attrition is real. People leave membership organizations. And they do so at about the same rate every year unless something changes. It's highly predictive. Your club terminates members every year, about half of those for reasons you can't control. So you need to plan on replacing that average number of terminating members, even though they haven't told you who they are yet. So tip number 1, you want to start doing that early in the year, pre-replacing those likely to terminate. Now would be good, because those usually happen later in the year when it's too late to replace them. Tip number 2, during the year, pay no attention to net member gain, one of the most dangerous statistics in all of Rotary. Don't get excited about being up 2 or 3 members in December or February or May. That means absolutely nothing as far as the year end's concerned. It's highly misleading because it ignores attrition that's extremely likely to happen by year end. Countless club presidents have been both surprised and disappointed when 3 or 4 unexpected terminations floated in the door the last week of June. So, what if you had a way to track your pace of attracting enough new members to not only meet your membership growth goals, but also to replace those members likely to terminate later in the year? That's tip number 3. The good news is that you do. It's the Club Progress Dashboard in the Membership Success Center. It's updated the first of each month, and you can check in each month to see if you're attracting new members fast enough to meet your goals. Now, here's what that looks like. It's a ramp that starts in July, and it reminds you of how many new members you need each month to be successful. It also shows you how many new members you've actually attracted so far each month, so you can compare the two. Now, to get a better understanding of how the Progress Dashboard predicts your membership success, we'll give you a link to a short video that you can share with other club leaders and also your membership committee. I'd suggest that you send this link to those teams. You don't need to explain this yourself. Now, the link is in the chat, or you can shoot the QR code with your phone. I encourage you to grab this link, save it, and play it when the webinar is over. You'll be glad you did. And now it's time for questions. Please add questions in the Q&A section, and our amazingly talented Rotary Membership Officer, Jose Gonzalez, will moderate. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you all. I see that there's a lot of engagement and excitement regarding that QR code that was just up a little bit ago. So what I'm going to do is ask our tech personnel if they can bring it back up so that you all can scan the QR code and download that app so you have the exact application to get involved and connected with the North American Club Creation team. But while they do that, I'm going to give us a brief overview on what we heard today. That way, hopefully, it'll help spark additional questions for the Q&A. And starting us off, we heard from our Rotary International Director, Patrick, who reminded us how not to just maintain Rotary, but grow and evolve it through the development of new and companion clubs. Remember, there are audiences out there that have not joined Rotary because life circumstances are different for each one of us, which is why it's up to us to develop clubs that meet the needs for engagement for those that could not consider us and could not join previously. And as I mentioned, I wanted that QR code up, so it's up on the screen now. Scan the QR code and download the app. Then secondly, we heard from our new club development champions, Al DeLucia and Chris Jones, who answered the burning questions we all have in our mind when we're talking about developing new clubs. Whether we're talking about standalone or companion, they answered so many of them. The major takeaway, though, that I really want to highlight during that interview is that to grow Rotary in fresh and innovative ways, new clubs are the pathway to further retention as well as grow our attraction. And then lastly, we heard from immediate past RMC, Terry Weaver. Terry, who shared the progress dashboard in the MSC and talked about the 3 tips. He illustrated how important the progress to goal is, and that we can't simply pay attention to the net membership gain. It's not enough. It can often be misleading, and it ignores attrition that's yet to occur. So focus your attention on the new member pace to goal to maintain consistent, moderate growth. Now we want to hear from you. Just as we do at every single MAP webinar, we want to talk about the questions that you have for all of us. And those questions can be for Al, Chris, or Patrick. If you have specific questions regarding the Membership Success Center, you can submit those via the QR code that will show at the end of the webinar today. And the RMC team will then follow up with additional details. And as a reminder, we're using the Q&A function in Zoom. Questions found in the chat may be missed and unfortunately may not be asked. So with that, let's invite everybody who I see is now back on the screen and get this started. We're going to start off today with Chris. Chris, you mentioned, sir, that new clubs don't cause member loss in existing clubs. Do we have an experience that supports this statement? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, Jose, many of our people that have transitioned from a existing club into a companion club, as an example, do so because they were looking for something different in Rotary. They probably would have ended up leaving Rotary, and most of the people that we've talked to indicated that they would have left Rotary had there not been some other avenue for them to move to. So it created a lot of retention as opposed to potential loss. And so these new clubs bring in new people from new populations that we otherwise hadn't been to. Plus, it provided a choice to our existing Rotarians to be able to move to instead of leaving the organization altogether.
Speaking of choice, Chris, you mentioned quite a bit of different types of clubs that you and the team have helped put together. Can you give us a brief example or explanation on the difference between a companion club and a satellite club? Some of our members are interested to learn the difference.
Sure. So a satellite club is it's always been out there since they were invented many years ago. And what Patrick Longano did was he coined the phrase companion,
Hmm.
because as he was out talking about the new opportunity for Rotary clubs, and he felt like satellite clubs were our one of the best tools we had in our toolbox. And he'd start the conversation and he'd get the first syllable of satellite out of his mouth. He'd get sat and people would shut him down saying, "Nope, heard about satellite clubs, don't want to do that. They just don't work for us." And so he started calling them companion clubs, and companion clubs really stuck. Um, a companion club is a variant of a satellite club. And an impact club happens to be a variant of a companion club. So if you think of it from a tree perspective, you start at satellite, which is the top of the
Hmm.
pyramid, if you will. Um, a companion club is just another name for a satellite club with the sole intention of really not ever leaving the existing club, but building on the existing club. And an impact club is typically a club that's really focused on primarily service. They don't do traditional meetings. They don't have speakers. They really just meet to do service.
See, so many options, so much to offer to our members and our prospective members now. Thank you so much for the explanation, Chris.
If I could add one thing to that, Jose,
Please do so.
options really do create opportunities because um, it creates a menu, for lack of a better term. If you walk into a restaurant and it's a burger restaurant, let's say, just using that as a as a potential. Sometimes burger restaurants also offer chicken because not everybody wants a burger.
Hmm.
And so as a Rotary Club, we need to be able to offer different options to our potential members as well as our existing members because things change. People have different interests, different
Oh,
desires,
yeah.
and the better we can do in terms of offering these options to our current and potential members, the better off we're going to be, the stronger we'll be.
I would agree. Then we have options, right? And more people can join us. Thank you very much, Chris. Patrick, we have one for you now. This one's coming in from one of our members. They're asking is, we're in the second month of the Rotary year. Do you have any recommendations for club leaders specifically on what they can do right now to help grow Rotary?
Sure. And I'll just mention right off the bat that the second month of the Rotary year is always our membership month. We know membership should be a focus
Look at
all the
that.
time, but we actually dedicate a month just to remind our club leaders early in the year how important it is. And so, club leaders, I'm talking to you right now. I know we have presidents, we have club membership chairs, have some club presidents like other club leaders. You know, you're here. You know, membership is important. By and large, your members do not. Make membership fundamental to your messaging, whether it's newsletter, whether it's from the podium, one-on-one conversations. Let them know that membership is important. And as you have heard tonight, the quickest way to move the needle on membership is to think about the ways that you can provide a new on-ramp for would-be Rotarians in your district. It could just be our club is going to have a satellite, or we call it a companion, or some other form that is a different opportunity for those who share our values to join our clubs. It could be that you want to sponsor a completely new club that meets at a different time and place. You're going to know your community. If you're in a smaller
Mhm.
community with one club, think about the fact that maybe not everybody is available for lunch on Tuesday. There's another time, day, location that would work. If you're in a little bit bigger community, think about where you're not reaching, the parts of your community that you're not reaching. Think about a companion club that'll give a new opportunity into Rotary and into your club. But club leaders, I promise you, most of your members have no idea that growing Rotary is just part of being a Rotarian, or that it should be. So take every opportunity to put that message out there. If you have to, use August as membership month as your hook to get started.
Happens to
Wonderful.
be the first element in the object of Rotary, by the way, too.
Which tells us that we should probably build on it even after August, right? And continue it throughout the entire year on adding to the membership. Thank you so much, Patrick. Al, you've been a champion for new club development for a long time. Sir, I'm sure you by now you've helped create countless clubs. And I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about one of your favorite clubs that you helped develop. Let's say one that helped meet the needs of newer members.
Wow, picking a favorite. Holy cow. Well, I guess one of them is the Rotary Club of Pittsburgh. The Rotary Club of Pittsburgh is the largest club, or I should say the oldest club in our district. They've been meeting in downtown Pittsburgh for over 100 years.
Mm,
But at the end of the pandemic, they realized there were a lot of people who used to work in downtown Pittsburgh who aren't working in downtown Pittsburgh anymore, and they're not going to
hmm.
be coming into downtown Pittsburgh to be hopefully a new member to our club because they're just not coming into town for lunch or they're not working in town. So I sat down with them and talked to them about forming a companion club, which is an impact club. And they absolutely loved the idea. And it didn't take them long to recruit the 15 members that they wanted to have to form that club. And they formed that club, and that club is thriving. And that club not only is growing as an impact club, it has really energized the Rotary Club of Pittsburgh. That club has turned itself around over the last 2 years from a club that was somewhat stagnant, a little
Hmm.
bit set in their ways, a little bit, we've been around for 100 years. This is the way we've always done things, to we are going to be the most innovative club in the district. We are going to do things different. We are going to attract people that have never even thought about joining Rotary in the past. And we're going to do it with our own traditional club, and we're going to do it with our impact club.
Al, thank you very much for sharing that. I often hear that innovation doesn't always mean starting a new club. It could just mean adding an alternative club meeting time. So I'm happy to hear that, that's an option out there. Can you by chance build on that a little bit for us? How can a club work to start just a new meeting time to meet the needs of new members? Is there a process and or are there any resources to help clubs do this?
Sure, there are a lot of resources, but I think really where you need to start is right in the club.
Yes.
Talk to your club members and say, is it possible that there is another day, another time, another place that we think we could attract potential new members to our club? Because we know that if we're a breakfast club on Wednesday at 7:30, we know we're missing nurses, firefighters, police
Oh yeah.
officers, teachers. There's so many occupations that we are not able to attract as new members into that traditional club because of where we meet and what time we meet. So, really, I think it starts in the club. And then once that club identifies where a potential new meeting place could be, they
Hmm.
identify the day, the time, and then they start recruiting new members based on that alternative that, hey, you want to serve your community? Here's a great way to do it. And it's another alternative for even the existing club members.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Al, for diving into that with us and helping us better understand just building out that additional time slot for members to participate in. Chris, people are interested to learn a little bit more about the North American Club Creation app. Does it require a specific password or username? Is there a process for them once they download the app?
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to do is to create an account once you've downloaded the app. And once you've created the account, then you can get into the app and start the process. Um, for time constraints, we can't go through how the app works on this evening's call, but that's really the key steps is create the account. It's not tied to anything else. It's not part of DACDB, not part of Club Runner, not part of Rotary International. It's its own standalone app. So create your account and then go from there.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chris. We have another member, and so this question is going to be for you, Chris. That's asking about additional stories about new club development and the creation process of clubs. Where can one go to learn more about how this process works?
The club creation team is a great resource to reach out to and ask those questions of. And Rotary Zones 3334 has some great examples on it as well. Um, uh, and then, within your own districts, many districts have already
Yes.
created so many of these companion clubs out there. So learn from the resources that you have in your district. Al told a great story about Pittsburgh. Al's actually being very what's the word I'm looking for?
Humble.
Humble, because he didn't mention his own club, which happens to be the home club of past Rotary International President Stephanie Urchik, which opened a companion club. It's one of the first ones that opened in that market, and incredibly successful. So
That's why we have you on here, Al. Incredibly successful. I love it.
Thank you.
Chris, while we have you, real quick, what is the current requirement to start a new Rotary club, as well as what is the requirement of members for starting a companion club?
So, I can give you the numbers, but that's not really the answer to the question. The numbers for a companion club or a satellite club is a minimum of 8, and start a new standalone club is 15. But ask yourself the critical question. Does that give you the critical mass that you need to be successful as a club? And so what we do in the club creation team is we really sit down and talk with you and analyze really what is the right number for you to go. And in most companion club situations, we ask the club to commit to a minimum of 12 to 15. Most of them start in the 18 to 20 range. And for a standalone club, we're asking them to commit to 20 to 25. And most of them are starting larger than that. And you really do need that critical mass to be successful.
I would agree. We need to have a little additional members to ensure when we start off, if we lose anyone, we still have a good flock that's going to continue growing. Thank you very much, Chris. Patrick, we're short on time, so I'm going to ask the last question for you, and it's in reference to Rotary's legacy, as you mentioned earlier in your statement. How do new clubs protect Rotary's legacy? What can we do for the development of new clubs to really continue to grow Rotary?
Well, here's what I'd say. We know that many clubs, including my own, and a very traditional club, but we're smaller than we used to be. So to be able to protect the way we like to do Rotary, we have had 2 satellite clubs that we've created. They do Rotary differently, and that's perfectly fine. As a sum, we have been able to maintain that census, that number of Rotarians. So we're able to protect the way we like, or like we get to do Rotary the way we liked it. What we protect Rotary's legacy by bringing new people, new energy, new ideas, new ways of doing things into the organization. And I think that's how we maintain, or we make sure that Rotary is going to be the force in the world that it is now, even 100 years from now. It's by continuing to innovate and to produce new clubs like this.
Fantastic. Great way to end the segment. Thank you very much, Patrick. I truly appreciate it. And I want to thank all the rest of you that are on the panel today, Chris and Al. Thank you for your time, your experience, and just sharing the wealth with everyone on the call. We are short on time, so unfortunately, we're not going to get to every single question that was asked, but as I mentioned, there will be a QR code that'll be coming up towards the end of the entire map webinar. Scan the QR code, submit your question again, and we'll have the RMC team follow up with you. Next, I'd like to welcome onto the stage our District Governor, Andy Van Hook, who will share some upcoming webinar details, additional opportunities to engage with the MAP committee members, and general reminders. Andy, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, President Jose. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Terry and Patrick. Great session today. Well, last year, 621 clubs grew, so congratulations. 350 clubs grew in 24 and 25 for 1 year, and they will receive the Milestone Award from the Membership Action Plan Zone 33 and 34. And over 150 other clubs have been growing for consecutive years. These will receive the Momentum Award in the next few weeks. Next up, we've got clubs with 5+ years of consecutive growth. In the Zone 33, the Bloomsburg Club has 5 years of consecutive growth. Dulles International Airport has 5 years of consecutive growth. Highlands Mountaintop, 7 years. Western Forsyth, 7 years. Pollocksville, 5 years. Easley, 5 years. And Bluffton, 7 years. In Zone 34, Alpharetta has 14 years of consecutive growth. North Cobb County with 9. North Forsyth with 400. North Forsyth 400 has 5 years. Effingham County, 6 years. St. Cloud, 6 years. How about that? Let's try that one more time. Paramaribo Quota has 5 years, and St. Vincent has 5 years. Our MAP webinars are packed with great insights. We also realize that sometimes the best ideas come from open dialogue. That's why we're launching the MAP Lounge, a casual come-as-you-are Zoom space to further the conversation. The MAP Lounge isn't another presentation. It's your opportunity to talk, share, and connect. Whether you have a question, a challenge, or an idea sparked by today's webinar, this is your place to bring it. Think of it like Rotary Fellowship meets a strategy session. Grab a cup of coffee, join us in the Map Lounge for meaningful, solution-driven discussion with other passionate Rotary leaders this Saturday, August 16th at 10 a.m. Eastern, to explore how we can put these ideas into action in our own clubs and districts. If you ever feel like the same people do most of the work at your club, well, then next month's webinar is for you. Energizing Members Engagement. It's happening Monday, September the 8th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Fresh ideas, real examples, and the spark your club's been waiting for. Mark your calendar. We'll see you there. Next up, Jose mentioned here's an opportunity to ask your questions that we didn't get to today. Here it is. Scan this QR code or go to rizones33-34.org/question and ask your questions, because we're here to support you every step of the way. Or you got a question or an idea, don't hesitate. Scan that QR code, go to the URL. We'd love to hear from you. You're not alone in this journey. We're here for you. Thanks for being here this evening, and we will see you Saturday in the lounge and in September.